All right, this is James Pelton. I hope everyone is doing just wonderful today. We have a good friend of mine, Kris McCauley, is on here today, and he's actually launching a second YouTube channel, or maybe this is third because there's also Kris McCauley in Espanol, right? So this is technically maybe a third, or do you have more channels than that?
That's pretty much it, man. Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, awesome. But yeah, we're going to talk through what this new channel's about. I also just like to connect with Kris from time to time just to hear. He's like me, where he just has his eyes open for all passive income plays, and so he's always got his hands the same way that I do. Our hands in like a bunch of different things. So I just kind of want to hear what some of those things are and how things are going. So let's go ahead and start out, Kris. I know you obviously, but maybe you could start by introducing yourself to audience that might not know you.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Kris McCauley. James, thank you so much for having me on, man. It's always fun getting to chat with you. And yeah, I mean, I don't know just how to label myself. Just a guy who makes videos, loves business. I love business. It's like a game to me, and just love always looking for new ways to make money and then sharing that on YouTube.
Okay, that's awesome. I think that's a good way. Entrepreneur. We'll just call
Yeah,
it
just
that.
entrepreneur. Yeah.
That's kind of the phrase that gets it through. And I was telling Kris that this was poor planning on my part because we're right in the middle of the USA Iran game. So my TV's on. So if you guys see me like get all excited or something, I'm just going to be totally transparent.
You're excited because of what we're talking about, not the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I yell goal, it has to do with this, Kris, what he's doing. So,
Perfect.
Kris, let's start off because this was the main reason I wanted to have you on. Let's start by talking about this new YouTube channel and what you're hoping to do with this new YouTube channel.
Yeah, so it's the channel's name is Better Blockchain. The mission is to make blockchain better. The goal is to ask questions more from like a, I guess, scientific approach. So, and just, like this isn't, I'm positioning this as this is not a promotional piece. It's like, if you want to come on, you're going to get asked the same questions as, I'll ask anyone the same level of questions. And for me, it's just about I think I get to do two birds with one stone here. So I get to talk blockchain. I love that. And I also potentially for me could find more projects come the next bull run, whenever that is, right? Like a year, 3 years. I think it's going to be longer than what a lot of people think. And yeah, but like in the meantime, I'm looking for these projects that are building on blockchain technology. And there's there are going to be some winners and there's going to be some duds. But I'm not saying to invest in, or I guess whatever word you want to use, into these projects. It's more or less a conversation. And I think that's kind of what some people were confused on. Like I've got EMP money coming tomorrow, and I haven't really talked very highly about them. And it's like people are like, well, why are you talking about this? Like, won't it drag your name down? And it's like, no, I'm just having a conversation. I could go just because I have like Lex Friedman has an interview with Vladimir Putin. It doesn't mean that he is supporting his ideologies. I'm just curious to have those types of combos. Some of those projects, maybe I will get in. So that's kind of how I don't know, just get to talk all about that stuff.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense because that's often criticism that I get because I do a lot of AMAs and people say, "Hey, why are you promoting that?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not trying to promote it. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is going on with it. I hear everybody talking about it, and so the way I learn about things is I get the founders on, ask them questions. So you kind of have done it in a way that makes it very clear. Hey, this channel's more like, hey, here's what I'm excited about, and then this channel's here. Here's my interviews. I'm asking the hard questions. Is that kind of what you're doing?
Well, yeah, and also too, it's like on my main channel, right? Like there were a lot of projects that I wanted to talk about that I couldn't talk about last bull run, right? Or even now, and because my main channel is more so for like, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. And I have talked about a few crypto projects that I'm not in. Like I've done a video on like I just some previous projects, but those are always a lot harder to do. And I want to save my main channel for like, hey guys, this is what I'm currently doing, whether it's crypto or not, which basically is all not crypto right now. And this is kind of like, I guess I look at it as like a playground for me and anyone who's like more into crypto. It's more niche specific. And the second thing I want to add to that is it takes me about, I don't know, like anywhere from 5 to 15 hours just for me, not including my team, to do a video on a single project or a group of projects. Whereas this doesn't take that long at all. I can like I obviously have a list of questions I prep, but it takes way less time. And so I don't know. It's just, and I'm going to experiment on there. I got like this cool, like live stream outside setup I'm pretty pumped about. So I'm just going to experiment and have fun. And that's the way I'm looking at it.
That's awesome. Well, I wish you the best of success with that, and I hope it goes well. And that's one of the things I wanted to do when I saw you were doing this is like, hey, I want to grow this, help you grow this as much as we can. So again,
I
want everybody
appreciate that,
here.
man.
Oh yeah, dude. That's what we do. These YouTubers got to stick together. But I need you guys. I just put the link in the chat. Please just go and subscribe. Okay, it's free. There's no reason to do that. You know, a lot of AMAs, it's like mint this NFT. It's $500. This is free, so you might as well do it. Can I ask you on this blockchain channel, because I want to talk about what passive income you're excited about. And I know there's not a lot in crypto right now, but I do kind of want to hear, let's start with crypto and then we'll work our way out to the more general. But what have you had on Better Blockchain that you've been excited about so far?
So I talked with Goofy Gophers because you recommended them to me. I like their low price point. I thought that was really cool. Like I think it was like $100 or something for the NFT. They haven't done that yet. And I like that it's mining, like mining stuff right now, I think is pretty cool. And I don't want to have to deal with that. Now, one project I did invest, I can't say the word invest, but like I bought into was Element Blockchain. And I've got a couple of nodes with those guys. It was probably a few months ago. So I'm now at 6 total nodes, 6 nodes with these guys. But like, it's not making you any money. So that's what, like, for me personally, I set aside 10K and it's like, this is like a 3 to 5 year play. Anything right now, I'm not really seeing anything right now. I personally think, and that like for me, I'm looking at allocating the majority of my funds during this recession, maybe depression, to building businesses and just going hard and making as much money as I can. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, totally. We're very much like-minded. I think one difference in our YouTube journeys is that you started before crypto and you were doing passive income stuff before crypto even was really a thing at all. And then when crypto came along, you kind of added crypto. Hey, here's another way to make passive income. Whereas I kind of started in crypto, like that's kind of where I started my channel. And so now I'm kind of backing out a little bit though and saying, hey, what else is there? So do you want to maybe talk with us about some of your non-crypto passive income plays and maybe ones that I loved your video. I was just watching it actually earlier today about like things normal people can do that don't have a lot of extra capital. Like I just installed Rakuten was one thing that I saw in your video. But do you want to talk through some things that you're excited about right now?
Yeah. So I think that's a great point. And I think I like to look at it as, when making passive income, there's really 2 routes you can go. There's stuff that's going to take startup time, and whether that's actually like for whatever that is, maybe it's building something out, developing a skill, and then going that route. And then there's stuff that you can do to make immediately. And there's pros and cons to both. So the stuff that you're making that you can basically make money from immediately, that's like the Facebook drop shipping. That's like one of probably the best examples I think of where you can just make money immediately. But I would say one of the cons with Facebook dropshipping is that I've been doing it for like a little over a year or something, but we don't know how long that's going to last. And there's a cap to it. Like Facebook starts getting a little weird with your store when you're bringing in like 3 to 4K profit a month. Like, and that's cool. But when you're trying to build past that, it's okay, let's develop a skill. So a lot of the stuff that I'm focusing my time on right now is stuff that it's taking some time to build out. So, for example, I have a product I've been working on for the last 8 months to get into Amazon, and I should make. I'm all in right now on this thing for about 30 grand, and when I sell all my units out, I should have made about 30 grand. But that could take anywhere from 2 to 4 or 5 months. So that's taken some time. My next video on YouTube, I'm writing it up today. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I just got my second vehicle for Turo. Like crazy. I drove like 5 hours one way. It was wild. Yeah, it was really wild. And that should be listed tomorrow. I did research for like an entire month, like breaking up spreadsheets that compared my data of my current listing to listings in my area. And I love numbers. I love data. That's a good one. And I mean, obviously Amazon, I'm building up an Amazon store right now. I'm partnered with, or not partnered, but I'm like a consultant for an 8-figure Amazon store that they pay me like I get like a monthly return on that, but my contract's about to end with them. And then I'm building up my own store as well. So aside from the name brand or my own brands, that's some stuff that comes to mind.
Awesome. Okay, let me dig into a couple of those. First up, did you say you created your own product for Amazon?
Yeah.
Or you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the highest risk, highest reward way of selling on Amazon, but it's the easiest business to sell. So like my goal is that, you launch a few products and then you can either sell that listing or you can sell like a whole store. So that's the game plan there.
Okay. Can I ask what this product is?
Yeah, for sure. It's a pet dog leash. So it's like a hands-free dog leash and it comes with a fanny pack. And so I've got 3,000 units. I'm going to be talking about it on my YouTube channel because I know that like the private label people, that's what that business model is called. They're like very secretive of it, but I actually reached out to some animal rescues and I sent out an email and I'm like, look, I have 3,000 units. If you help me move 500, I'll cut you a check for $3,500. That's the equivalent of like a 30% ROI. And if I launch more in the future, you're more than welcome to have it. So I've sent that out to like hundreds of animal rescues. So hopefully they kind of help out too. But yeah, I'm really excited.
Okay. No, that's super cool. But there's quite a bit of an upfront investment if somebody wanted to go that direction, correct?
Yeah. So like the US market's always more competitive. Like I've talked with people who've launched in other it depends on the category and the product, right? So I launched a pet product in the US market, which is like the most competitive. And it was like 15 to 17K. And I'm all in right now for about 30. So yeah.
Okay. So that might be, let us know how that goes. And then maybe we'll follow you on that journey.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll let you do all the heavy lifting and then we'll jump in.
Yeah.
Can I ask about Turo? So do you find that, did you buy a car specifically for Turo?
The second one. Yeah. The first one though, I kind of lucked out because I bought a car during COVID. I was the third owner. I put 30,000 miles on it and it appreciated by like 30%. And it still is. I know that they say the used car market's about to pull back a little bit, but, so in my area in Santa Barbara, people really like four-door vehicles, like, just to like get around in, families visiting. It's very touristy. And so it worked out really well. But then I'm like, okay, well, I think like I started making enough money to where I'm like, okay, this car's paid off. I'm making like 500 to $800 a month. Probably could make 1,000 if I lowered the price more. But I just, like I'm not trying to rent my main car out like 20 days out of the month. But now I'm like, okay, if I get a second vehicle, it's competitive and I could bounce between those two whenever one's rented out. Then, the guy kind of go from there. And that's the route I took.
Can you kind of walk us through if somebody else was wanting to do this? I mean, obviously factors are going to be, is it best just to look up on Turo what cars are renting for in your area and then kind of compare that with used? I mean, what kind of process did you do to decide to buy this new car?
Okay. So what I did was they have this Turo calculator, and it used to be different. I think that this is like what I personally think, but I think there was like some liability issues because from what I found, it was way off. And I think they were just trying to get people to rent their cars. So what I did was I looked at all the cars in my area, and I averaged the number of reviews over the last 3 months. And then what I did was I saw my number of reviews, how many I had in 3 months. And then I took that, and then I was like, but how many trips did they have? Well, I knew that not everyone who gets a trip is going to leave a review. So I took my ratio of booked trips to reviews, and I took that same ratio to everyone's reviews to estimate the number of trips. And then what I did was I took the average price of my trip. I knew that like one trip doesn't necessarily mean one day. Sometimes people book a week, sometimes people book a day. So then I was like, okay, how much am I netting at profit per trip? I did that equation, and then I wrote the car, the date, and the mile, and I wanted to know what's the Kelley Blue Book value of this car. And then what I could do is I divided that number by the month, the estimated monthly returns to see, okay, what is the break even cost on this vehicle? And what it ended up coming back was that a lot of the base models, like you never want to buy a Tesla. I mean, maybe you do if you're going to like have one for personal use, but this was strictly investment. So like, yeah, Tesla's making, $1,400 a month profit, but like that's 40 to 50K. Whereas this other vehicle is 13 and it's doing like $200 a month less. So that's kind of how I did it. And then I just started looking for that vehicle for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then I ended up getting the second cheapest one in the nation on that mileage and that year. So it was like a really good deal.
So that way, went to drive and pick it up.
Yeah, I drove. It was like 5 hours one way. Yep.
Okay. I was gonna do their calculator, but they don't have Lincoln, Nebraska as one of their. I guess we're not big enough market, and we don't have a huge market here. So I would say if people are going to consider doing this, you do kind of have to be in a bigger market probably for it to be profitable. Can I ask one other question before we move on? Just because I've been curious about Turo, but like when somebody is it mostly airport people who rent it, or how do you get the car to them? Do they pick it up or?
Yeah. So what I do is, so basically there's two ways. I set locations all around, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm able to, I've done so well is because I have airport pickup, but I charge an extra $60 cash, no fees out of that. And I pay someone to go basically do that for me, $20. So not only am I securing the trip, but I'm also profiting like $30 or something when I pay someone to go out there that like, it's like a friend and they do that for me. And that way, like, because ideally, like if I were to get 3 or 4 cars, my goal is to get not only cars that are paid off, but like have 3 or 4 vehicles that are like completely like free. And then just kind of use that to roll into nicer vehicles. So
yeah, and one thing I want my audience to kind of see is, do you see how Kris, the way he thinks through, like this is the entrepreneurial way of thinking through it, is you start something and then you figure out, okay, now how can I scale it? So obviously I can't be driving the car to get people their car. Like if I have 20 of these, I would spend all my time driving cars off. So he hired a friend to do that, and that frees him up. And now he can kind of see, okay, well now I can get my next car. I can get my next car, and then you can kind of grow from there. And this is probably the same type of process that you've done on all your businesses. Is that kind of right?
yeah, I would say so. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of overlap there for sure.
Cool. Second thing I wanted to talk about was I recently started a Facebook drop shipping store, but it's all done for you. So I don't actually do anything. I have some people in my audience that have been, we have the training course that they've been going through trying to get their own Facebook drop shipping store. Can you just kind of talk about what your experience has been? And do you think, I mean, is it profitable for you right now? And how much work is it taking for you right now?
Yeah, so mine's like completely automated. Like don't do anything. And I do this a lot. So like what I do a lot of the times is like if I don't know how to do like what I've got so many things going on in the back burner and that I'm like haven't even talked about yet. Like I've got a guy building out like a silent YouTube channel, like or a faceless YouTube channel. and I don't know how to do any of that, right? So it's like, how can I find someone who does? So I went to Upwork and I'm like, I tried like 20 people, and there were a couple guys that did pretty good, and I'm still working with them. First month was pretty slow. Second, I started this September of last year. I think I made $40 the first month, 600 the second, and then November and December were like my best months still to this date of last year. And then right now, since then, I would say like I would average, I think I'm at like 23K profit this year. So just under 2K a month average profit. And yeah, I mean, I would say that's like it. I would say it gets pretty difficult from the people I've talked to once you get past a certain point. Like, I don't know what it is. I guess I don't really know enough to comment on it because I've just outsourced it all. But I've had trouble with me personally with my store where like I have to like, it got suspended, I think 2 or 3 times. So, that's been my biggest battle. But how's it going for you though so far?
So I've just been doing it for 1 month. And yeah, it's been doing really well. Like Black Friday was a huge day for it. And some of the ones of people doing it themselves, yeah, like month 1 and haven't gotten any sales yet. So yeah, I wonder if it's just going to take a while to kind of ramp up because a lot of it is just putting in a lot of products. You might not get your first sale till you have 200 products listed or something like that.
And reviews too. Like the more reviews you get, the better it is as well.
Okay.
So that helps. Like I noticed that too, like especially once I started getting some reviews.
Okay, very cool. And then last, I want to talk about your Amazon store as well. Is that something that you think is that something that somebody starting up can get into? Do you think it's oversaturated now? What are kind of your thoughts just on Amazon stores right now?
My advice when it comes to Amazon selling is it just, well, first is I would look at the business model with selling on Amazon, right? Like we already talked about like starting your own brand. Like I do not recommend anyone should ever start there ever. I've tried. Well, I'm not, no, I shouldn't say that. I haven't tried. I advocate for really learning the skill. Like Amazon is one of those where it's like a skill where you can like maybe learn it, spend like an hour a day or something learning the skill of like how to read if an item's selling good or not. Like, and then what that can do is then you can find name brand products to sell. And that's what I'm currently doing, right? So like I've probably sold like $8 million worth of stuff on Amazon over the course since like 2018, 2017. And most of it's been name brand stuff. And the best way that you can start with a lot less, like less than $1,000, but it's also really, really easy to lose your money too if you don't know what you're doing. So, like for example, I can buy from the people that sell or the companies that sell to Costco or Walmart or Target and make a 20% ROI each month. Like that's not out of the question. And then you compound that, and it can really grow when you're making 20% a month over the course of years, it can really grow into something crazy, which is what I did. Now, there were times when you lose, but you obviously try and win more than you lose.
Yep. That's the goal, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, so two, these are gonna be tough questions. Okay. Cause that's what you're doing on your YouTube channel is you're going to start asking all the hard questions. So I want you to know what it feels like.
Perfect. Bring the heat, man.
Yeah,
bring the heat.
It's actually not that bad. I like to be dramatic. I think it makes good YouTube content. But so if you were coming and you were new on this planet, maybe you had $5,000. I don't know where you got it from. But what would you do with $5,000 as like your passive income investment play right now?
What would I do? That's a great question. Well, I feel like I know how to outsource stuff. So I would say like I want to answer it from the person who maybe is like at square one. Because my advice, and that's been something I feel like I've not been as good about doing on my channel, is like really thinking like maybe how is this person who doesn't know how to do, like doesn't have this skill set yet, or maybe teaching that a little better. But to get to your question, what I would do if I had $5,000, I would go straight to I would go straight to Craigslist or garage sales. Like, I think if you're trying to flip the most amount of money into the quickly with when you combine ROI and skill set, I think that is one of the, I don't want to say easy because it's definitely gets a little gritty, but I mean, it's so hard to lose there. And then on the back burner, I would be learning YouTube. I would start a YouTube channel because I think YouTube is the best. It's the best business ever. Like, it's on a multitude of reasons. And I would just film everything. That's what I would do.
There you go. Okay, I would agree with you. I actually didn't think about that. Sometimes I forget to talk about YouTube as a passive income source, because well, it's not really passive. But it is income. But it is a lot of work. So no, that's a great answer. And so maybe that would be your same answer for my second question, which would be if you didn't have any extra money and you were just like, hey, I'm going to hustle to try and, get to where I have 5,000, then I can start doing, Craigslist flipping or whatever. What would you do as kind of your first hustle to try and make some money?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah. See, it doesn't
I don't
feel
know.
great, does it?
No, I honestly, what I would do, I would probably do some door-to-door stuff. Like, I don't know, I would go into a neighborhood and I think I would look at the neighborhood and be like, okay, what can I do here? Maybe it's shoveling snow wherever you're at. Maybe it's cleaning curbs. I've heard of that one before, or cleaning windows. And I would just you walk up, spend $30 on some cheap business cards and just be like, hey, look, I noticed your windows were pretty dirty. Here's what I normally do it for. Here's what I could do it for. I'll do it right now. And you do that enough or the tire, the tire rims, cleaning the rims. That would be one, probably just stuff like that. Just hustle up to get a couple grands.
I think that's great advice is just keep your eyes open. Most people don't do that. Most people don't walk around thinking about, oh, what kind of problems are there and what kind of solutions could I provide? And I think that's one thing that separates an entrepreneur like you from a normal person. And sorry, Kris, you're not a normal person.
Dang it.
Sorry. You keep working on it. You'll get there. But I think you're looking for problems and solutions to things. We just got our Christmas tree. We go to a Christmas tree farm where we actually cut down a Christmas tree. And I was thinking, man, if they had a drone with some footage of this Christmas tree farm that I could take my drone out, film that, probably sell it to them for a couple $100 maybe even. I could do some video editing, give them a whole commercial for $1,000 maybe. And I was just thinking, man, that stuff like that where you just see problems and opportunities and just try stuff and you might fail, but if it's just hustle, then if you fail, it doesn't really matter that much. It's like, oh, okay, I flew my drone over the Christmas tree farm. They didn't want the footage. No harm, no foul. So, but I love that. Quarter Mile would like to know, what kinds of products do you have in mind for Craigslist flipping? What do you look for?
Well, when I was personally doing this, and this was back in 2016, 2017, that combined with garage sales is what I used to quit my garage. I went down the video game niche. I knew retro video games really well. I knew that they were really collectible. So I put ads out everywhere, in the paper, and hey, buying huge collections, please call me, that type of stuff. I would look every single day. But I mean, I don't know. There's so many. You could hawk the free section, just do me a favor and YouTube couch flipping on YouTube. That's a whole rabbit hole. You get a big storage unit and then you have a nice little pickup truck and you're just picking up couches, and you flip that. That's a whole ordeal. I mean, I don't know. There's so many.
Yeah. And I'll say too, that when you do it for a while, I've done this a lot with books, but you start to kind of be able to recognize, if you see Nike shoes at a garage sale that are in good shape, it's like, okay, well, they're selling them for $5. They're probably worth more than $5. And you kind of start to just know, but books are a great way. You can just scan them on the app and you can just say, oh, actually this book's worth $7. They're selling it for 10 cents. And then you can You can buy it like that. So that's what I would do for sure. So, well, hey, we should wrap up here because halftime's over. USA game's back on.
Perfect.
I just wanted to do a short catch up with you.
I appreciate it, man. Really do.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime. I'm here for you. So again, call to action for my audience. Go over to Better Blockchain. I'll post the link one more time here. Looks like you've gotten 8 subscribers since we started the video. So good.
Let's go. Thanks, guys.
Making progress.
You guys
one at
are
a
rock
time.
stars. Awesome.
But yeah, and if you go check out Kris's main channel as well, he's got great tips on there for passive income in general. In fact, the category that your channel is on is kind of where I want to be. Is not pigeonholed in crypto, just because there's, like you said, there's not a lot in crypto where I'm like, yeah, this is a no-brainer.
And there might not be for some time too. Like, I mean, it's like, who knows, you know? But
yes, yeah, Kris is always a little bit more pessimistic about.
I'm super bearish.
But then you aren't let down.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yes. Let's see. For the person asking about hustles, just read a Reddit post about a guy making 5 figures a month hanging Christmas lights.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely could see that. Just be careful. Because
yeah.
The reason I outsource my Christmas lights is because I'm afraid I'll fall. And so, but yeah, this has been awesome. Kris, well, audience, I appreciate you guys showing up all the time. Please hit like on the way out. Check out Kris's 2 channels and Kris McCauley in Espanol if you speak
definitely
Spanish.
If you like the Spanish, yeah.
If you
appreciate it, James. Thank you so much for having me on. Everyone, thanks for talking with me today.
Sorry,
appreciate it.
This comment was funny, so I had to bring it up. James' channel is Get Rich Quick. Kris's channel is Get Rich Slow and Steady.
Slow and steady. Oh man.
There you go. That's pretty accurate, Turo. So thank you guys. Yeah, and thanks, Kris, and hope you have a great rest of the day. And I think we're going to be meeting up in January is kind of the plan.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. I'm excited.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, hey, take care and go USA.
Go USA. Let's go.
All right.
All right, bye.